tackle.
Good start from Wynnum Manly. They're showing they're very keen. It was Craig Ferrugia charged the kick down on Robbie Chew. A penalty comes. Let's have a look at it again. Redcliffe telegraphed this one. He's about the only guy in the team who can kick, and Ferrugia charging through him. Not a knock on. A rebound is not a knock on. He charged the ball down, leaving the foot of the kicker, and that was play on. Couldn't play it quickly enough. Penalty goes to the Seagulls.
Colin Scott, just inside the 22-metre line, has a slight breeze blowing from left to right, and hits this one, pushes it to the left. So missing with his first attempt. Scott, the score remains 0-0. 2 minutes of play gone.
In a start such as this one, where Scott took quite some time to set that ball for the shot for goal, can rather diffuse the atmosphere that's been built up and the tension amongst the players.
Drop kick downfield from Benson. And Scott Lewis, well, he could have let that one go, possibly. It may have just gone out on the full, I think.
It's a decision by Lewis, but I think he really couldn't take the chance.
Green hit hard. Driving in there is Cowell and Webb. Dawes has Ferrugia around him. Jenner.
It'll be interesting to see what sort of tactics Lewis comes up with to get away from this Redcliffe forward pack.
Now Dawes to Lewis, quickly on to Green. And the defence wraps him up. Canescu in there with Cowell and Fullerton Smith. Lewis onto French, bursts forward. Fullerton Smith across. Last tackle. Lewis puts it up, but it goes straight up into the heavens, or into the sun. And comes down, allowed to bounce. Lewis has it again, handballs it to Lindner. And the defence swarms all over the top of him, right on the halfway. Loses the ball backwards. Lewis loses it also. And the scrum to pack down. Well, it would have been a turnover if only the tackle had been affected.
That's right. Here's the other matches here on major semi-final day at Lang Park. In the Colts, West got up over the minor premiers Valleys by 24 points to 18, and then a sensational reserve grade match. Brothers led 12-6 with a couple of minutes to go. Redcliffe scored a late try, but failed to convert right from on the touchline.
Redcliffe ball. Tew takes on Lewis, and they lock horns, the two 5/8s. An important battle, this one today. Cowell over halfway.
Robbie Chew is a bulkier type 5/8 than what Lewis would be used to.
Canescu from dummy half. Lindner copped one right on the shoulder there, on the collarbone. Dowling chasing from Marco as it goes across out to Holder in, and he loses the ball. A little bit of hesitation there. Ferrugia. Lindner still down in back play.
Yeah, he's trying to flex that right arm. Looks like he's copped one right on that shoulder. Doesn't look well. What a major blow that'd be. Here's Bruce Corey to come and check him out.
Dowling plays the ball. Ferrugia works the blind. Again, Redcliffe chasing hard in close to the ruck. Dawes, Lewis, quickly onto Miles. Flings it around for Scott. Good understanding. Green quickly out now with Lewis. Lewis heading for it right down the touchline. Gets the pass desperately back inside for Dawes. Now it's with Scott.
Redcliffe can't afford to let Wynnum Manly play this free-flowing style of game.
Last tackle. Dawes, Lewis. Looks for the open spaces and finds them too. Well judged kick from Lewis, rolling towards the dead end goal line. And picked up by Barwick. And Green makes the tackle with Ferrugia.
Gordon Barwick very keen to get back there and recover that kick, but it might have been better just to leave it, try and run over the dead ball line. Now Redcliffe right in the pocket trying to get out.
Cowell. Hart, Tew, moving it across the post, floats it out to Benson. Benson spears straight through, going downfield, comes across, saves Lewis, the cover tackle. Hart links up with Fullerton Smith over the halfway. Last tackle, enterprising play from the Dolphins. Hart, little kick through, he's knocked over by Lindner, yes. And the penalty.
Deservedly so. Certainly Colin Part put the little kick up and got a very heavy shoulder charge there. And Part still down on his haunches there in your screen. Good work from Colin Part. He was the one who originally got that backline movement away. And let's have a look at it here. It's a little chip over the top and quite a heavy shoulder charge on Part. Actually interesting there, the referee threw his hands apart and called a play on. And then Wait for it, blew the whistle then. A delayed reaction from Ian Irwin.
Brett Rolls is 42 metres out, right in front of the posts. His success rate this season, 62%, slightly better than Colin Scott, 57%. In comes Rolls, hits it long and low, off the uprights. And gathered by Farrugia, no misunderstanding there. Lindner has it. And it was a knock-on.
The crowd not agreeing with Bob Lindner, still really inconvenienced. There's a good crowd here at Lane Park today. Pretty parochial, pretty noisy, but Bob Lindner still inconvenienced by that shoulder injury.
Hart feeds. Oh, penalty to Wynnum. Feed across against Canescu.
Canescu has had trouble with referees all year. Let's have a look at it. There's Park going to put it in. Canescu got his foot on the ready. Let's face it, both of them have, and let's hope that Irwin's consistent.
Lewis finds touch. 30 metres out. Dowling. Strong and hard. Cowell lost his footing as he flew in the air as he hit Dowling. Jenner. Oh, they didn't take that dummy.
They won't get through that red brick wall today too easily.
Dawes throws the dummy to Green, takes the tackle himself. Dowling again. Now Dawes to Lewis, Lindner. Good tackle from Chew, stops him in his tracks. Last tackle. Lewis back inside to Green. He's forced to get the kick away as the pressure was on Lewis. Holder takes it. Oh, walked past Brian Naylor. Cowell.
Redcliffe could be very happy with the way this game has started. Lewis claiming he's being held down.
Bleakley tries to tow it through. Nichols. Away from Fullerton Smith, but Canescu and Bleakley there. Farrugia. Webb flies over the top. Dowling sends it quickly on to Naylor. He loses it. And Benson has it for Redcliffe.
Wynnum aren't used to this sort of pressure. It's been a good start from the Dolphins.
Fullerton Smith. Dowling drives in with Naylor and Green. Canescu, Cowell.
Hey, get back. Come on, run away. Come on, move it.
Niebling. There's a small hole in the ruck there. He couldn't get through it.
Heard
They
the referee
sandwiched him.
Heard the referee call that number 7 was offside Dawes. He had to stay out of it.
Part to Chew. Working a move. Holder comes through. Fighting is Holder, trying to get his arms free. The referee says play it. Part, but the penalty goes to Redcliffe. Moving up too quickly on the blind side, the defence. And Chew coming up with a quick tap.
Well, Irwin walked him then too. He couldn't walk him any further than the try line. Should be a shot for 2 points here. Yep. That's right. As soon as the advantage isn't in the quick tap, it should be 2 points. Irwin walked Gene Miles, it was, for talking back. What a tradesman-like start here from Redcliffe. Look at Robbie Chew. Once the penalty was given and the walk was on, here he comes up. There's Irwin taking the 10 metres. Look at Robbie Chew quickly grabbing the ball off Colin Park. Says, come on, let's get on with it here. Gene Miles still walking back with his back to him. Look at the man who stands right in front of him now, Wally Lewis. Reads it all the time.
Rolls just inside the quarter line. Similar position to the one that Colin Scott missed at the other end of the field. It's this one well. That waved away. Score remains 0-0 after 15 minutes. Lewis quickly there for the dropout. Hits it well too. Travels 50 metres in the air, taken by Holder. And Green and Naylor. Holder bounces away from them and gets a good pass to Thorne. Good work from Holder. Now Cowell has it. Dowling tackles him with Jenner. Webb. Was Dawes going right down underneath him, and Dowling, Jenner was finishing him off. Niebling. Redcliffe rolling forward. Part. Rolls. Showing some pace. Chew. Floats it out to Barwick. They're putting some pressure on Wynnum, and Barwick's still going. Quickly offloads to Part, but he rushed it and couldn't handle it.
They undid some good work then. Redcliffe had Wynnum well and truly shot in defence. Quick play the ball.
Green met strongly by Cowell. And look at the defence coming in quickly. Niebling, Bleakley was there too. Lewis getting the kick away on the early in the tackle count.
Wally Lewis realised he's played the majority of the game, and that's 15 minutes old inside his own territory, and he's decided he's going to change the trend.
Lindner makes the tackle. Redcliffe are throwing everything at them, David.
Oh, where they are. They're playing very well. It's been a very controlled performance by Redcliffe. We think back very early in the season, they put on one of the best 25 minutes of rugby league we'd seen in Brisbane for a long time, and it's the same sort of control they're exhibiting today.
Moving it wide to Cowell out in the backs. The defence stops him well. Webb almost overran the pass there.
It was suggested that Redcliffe were foxing it in attack in the match when they went down 7 points to 0 a few weeks ago.
Chew with a beautifully judged kick. Gains 40 metres with pinpoint accuracy.
Great kick from Robbie Chew, and Wynnum Manly aren't used to this sort of tactics. They are being turned around. That's normally Lewis that's turning around their opponents.
Dawes has it. Notice that right arm heavily strapped.
Got a special guard on there today, trying to ensure that he doesn't get another bump on it. As we said earlier, he had a green stick fracture of the arm only about a month ago.
Dowling.
He's crashed up the
Good
middle.
pass to Scott Lewis. That's the first time the Redcliffe forward defence has cracked. Lewis, Dawes around him. Back inside to Ian French, making inroads.
They only cracked there previously, Warren, because the Redcliffe guys were still getting out of the scrum. Once they set that defensive line, it's pretty hard to penetrate.
Lewis throws a little dummy and steps straight through. Chased by Bleakley. Bleakley misses a tackle, and Holder lets him go past. Holder thought that Bleakley had him, and he's starting to look for the supports.
Well, it is pretty hard to go through for ordinary human beings, but for Wally Lewis, it's not real hard because he just decided to take off, and then from that point on, he was looking for someone to get with him. No one would, so he went all the way himself. What a man, what a player. Let's have a look at it. Breaks off, little dummy, accelerates straight up the middle. They couldn't hold him. Looks for support on the left-hand side. Peter Dawes was trying to get with him, but just couldn't. Neither could Bleakley. Bleakley couldn't get a hold of him. Then he just accelerates away from Holder. Holder thought that Bleakley had his measure, but he didn't. Wally Lewis puts it down under the sticks for the first try. We'll see from behind just how hard it is to contain this man. Right from the play the ball, we'll see what Lewis does and why they didn't get him. The pass straight to Lewis, first man off the ruck. Acceleration straight up the middle. Maybe had a little bit of a shepherd on his own player. Beat Brian Niebling, is left on the ground, I think it is. And then Bleakley couldn't get to him. Lewis looking for support. Holder was never going to make a tackle on Lewis. And as Lewis sprinted away, he said, well, this is easy. Put it down under the sticks. That's how it's done.
Colin Scott right in front. Makes no mistake. So the score, Wynnum Manly 6, Redcliffe 0 after 19 minutes of play. Trevor Benson restarts. Warm conditions here at Lang Park. Sun beating down. Ball rolling dangerously towards the corner post.
Oh dear, what a terrible mistake.
Dead in goal. Lewis, the drop out. Holder takes it. Feel a bit sorry for Holder in that try a moment ago as Webb takes the tackle. Too often we see the defenders come in and they'll both go for a man in an attacking position and leave the support free to score the try. And that occasion he just slightly misjudged in trying to do the right thing and hold off for the support. 6 more tackles to Redcliffe.
Wynnum Manly striking at the play the ball.
Cowell back to Niebling, juggling and manages to hold on to it and makes the break.
That's determination, really. A lesser player wouldn't even got another hand on it.
Back inside to Bleakley. Prolific try scorer for Redcliffe this season, Bleakley. 12 in the premiership proper. Working the blind, Chew. Back to Fullerton Smith, Dowling. Cleans him up. Part, Holder. Benson. Floats it out to Thorne. Away from Scott Lewis, away from Miles, but Naylor manages to hold on to him. Last tackle. Rolls a dummy half to Benson. Runs around and puts the kick up. Pressure on Colin Scott in the field of play. Takes it beautifully and bursts away from the tackle. Great work from the fullback.
Yeah, great stuff from Colin Scott. The crowd appreciated it too. Under pressure, took it beautifully.
Dowling.
Let's have a look at it. Benson had to get away from Scott Lewis to put the ball up, and it was a good bomb too. Came right down in the middle of the park, but have a look at Colin Scott. Up on the chest and then takes off as well. There's the scrums, 3-1 in favour of Wynnum Manly.
Redcliffe feed. The penalty goes to Wynnum. Feed across the Greg to Greg Conescu.
Been pretty messy scrums too in this match so far. Irwin finding a penalty. Lewis taking the tap.
Quickly out across the backs to Miles. Now inside to Naylor. Naylor lives in the shadow of Miles somewhat. He's a talented footballer.
I wouldn't mind living in his shadow.
Wouldn't mind running off him. Perugia burrowing forward. Only 4 metres out. Naylor a dummy half. Dowling coming through, but Naylor goes himself. Perugia's knocked it on.
Knocked it back, says
No,
Irwin.
knocked it back, says the referee. Again, Green, Lewis, Jenner for the chance. Miles has it. Miles is away from the tackle, coming around behind the post. So that takes the score. Wynnum Manly 10, Redcliffe 0.
Well, we said before the match the danger men are Lewis and Miles. The 2 try scorers, Lewis and Miles. Lewis was involved in that one, but look at the explosive power of Gene Miles here as he gets confronted on the try line. Look at Lewis. Lewis gets the pass here from Green, but look at this, a beautiful ball from Daryl Jenner just around the corner. Then there was one in front, crash, bang, get out of the road, and then he just strolls around a little bit further. Fleetley comes to him, places it down one-handed. But how do you stop a player of size and technique such as Miles has got? There's Lewis, the little ball to Jenner. Credit, a lot of credit's got to go to Jenner there. That's good work from Jenner. And then bang, Miles just dumps the hip in, bumps one away. Conescu went flying past him. Then he improves the position. Explosive attacking power, Wynnum Manly.
Colin Scott, just to the right of the uprights. Right into this slight breeze. And the flags are up. So Wynnum Manly leading the Dolphins 12-0 after holding them out in that part of play where the Redcliffe players got right on top. Benson to restart. Down it goes. Scott Lewis. Miles winding up. You can see how dangerous Wynnum Manly were 10 metres out from the line in scoring that try. For 3 tackles previously, they really had Redcliffe battling to hold on because those big men like Lewis and Miles.
Let's have a look at that big front-on shoulder charge there that Mal Green got a couple of moments ago. Here it is. This is the last ruck. Have a look at this. I think it was Michael Webb who came over the top. Bang! Big shoulder charge. Trying to take Mal Green out altogether.
There's no tunnel there.
Oh, what a good push from Wynnum. Hello.
Penalty to Redcliffe.
Let's see signal here. Feet across, he's decided. Well, certainly there were plenty of feet across.
Or 4 feet at least.
The lock forwards just about had their feet across. There's a good push from Wynnum though, and that'll be a psychological boost for the pack.
Benson looks for touch and just evades the hand of Scott Lewis trying to knock it into the field of play.
Very fortunate for Redcliffe there. But here's their chance. They're down 12-0. They need points in the first half.
Thorne.
We've got 12 minutes to go in the first half.
Webb. Wynnum weathered the storm and came out firing with 2 tries. Cowell to Niebling. The backs are deep for the Dolphins. Chew back inside is Bleakley.
Oh, didn't Wynnum read it well too. Peter Dawes. Seems to be favouring that right arm though.
Part to Chew. Back inside he goes. Good sidestep. Beats quite a few and gets it to Bleakley.
Knocked it on. That's been fairly typical of Redcliffe though. They have been able to make a couple of little half breaks, oftentimes having to cut back inside, keeping on looking for the ultimate break, but it's just not coming. Some good cover defence from Wynnum.
Dawes puts it in, and again the penalty to Redcliffe. Lead across against Perugia.
Certainly, Irwin had everything he wanted then. He got the packs to stand apart for quite a period of time. Differential penalty, of course. Redcliffe can't kick for goal.
Thorne kicked straight across. In fact, it went back a little. Benson it was. Now it's Barwick, finds a gap. Only 2 metres out, tackled by Lewis. Canescu, Part. Misunderstanding as they tried to work a move.
Very untidy. Had more purpose than that.
Fullerton Smith goes straight and hard, but he loses the ball. Knocked straight out of his arms. Went backwards. Canescu dives in on it. Tew. Niebling. Tew. Again holding the pass up for Benson. Benson crashing towards the line. He's inches short.
That was a great tackle there from Wynnum Manly. Try saver. Ferrugi is the man underneath him.
Bleakley a dummy half. Part tries to hold the pass up. Rolls has it, loses it. On the ground, Lewis picks it up.
Well, that's good last line of defence from Wynnum Manly. We've seen how good they can attack, and also they've shown that some last-ditch defence can save the day. Look, for all intents and purposes there, that Benson would score it.
Lindner running it out.
Ferrugi was certainly underneath him, but so was Mal Green. Mal Green was the guy who came over the top.
Well, the pass went back from Miles to Ferrugi. He's knocked it on. A swinging arm from Canescu flies over his head.
There's Irwin telling the hookers to keep their feet back. Got a loose arm, Canescu. There it is. Very untidy scrums. Lewis coming in very quickly to make sure nothing develops.
6 scrum penalties in all in the half.
Let's have a look at it. We'll see. There's Canescu's arm down there on the ground trying to hold himself up. Of course, that's not the idea. You must have your arm over the tight head prop.
There's only 30 seconds till half time. Nichols.
Most sides are tied up. Wynnum will probably try and score from it.
Miles. Jenner throws the dummy. That support linking up inside.
Fullerton Smith a bit late on the scene.
Dowling. They're using up the tackle so far. Only 3 seconds to go till the siren. Lewis thinking about the field goal from halfway, but it won't have the legs. Thorne gathers in his in-goal area. Might as well force it, but he decides to have a run. Pushes away from Naylor. Going down the touchline. Back inside Green. Great run from the winger. Rolls quickly onto Part. Part steps. Back to Benson. Keeping it alive beautifully, Redcliffe. Cowell has it. Part quickly onto Holder. He's knocked it on. Well, so much for my comment that he might as well force it. Great attack from Redcliffe to give them some heart for the second half, but Wynnum Manly leading 12-0 at half-time. Tries to Wynnum Manly to Wally Lewis and Gene Miles, while Colin Scott has kicked 2 from 3. Brett Rolls has missed with 2 attempts. Statistics are all equal. Scrums 3 apiece, tight heads 1 apiece, and the penalties 5 apiece. Holder gets the kick away to start the second half. Deep, and it's a beautiful kick. That in goal, I think. No, found touch, in fact.
Touch and goal. Yep.
2 signals from the touch. Judge finally decides it was touch in goal.
As he got a bit closer, he realised what had happened, and of course that means a goal line dropout. There's a tackle count in the first half. Not a lot between them, although Wynnum Manly have been called on to make a lot more tackles. They've topped the ton. Redcliffe only had to do 88. Missed tackles 13 and 11, so not a lot between them. However, Wynnum Manly have got that advantage. Points on the board, 12 points to 0.
It was a great start from Redcliffe to force Wynnum Manly into the dropout from the kick-off.
They do kick off so well, Warren, don't they? They have Benson and Holder to do that kicking, and they've kicked off very well in other matches this year.
Turned the game against North just a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
Well, sealed it up, really, I suppose, on that occasion. But now it's Cowell.
I think what we saw right at the end of the first half too was that Redcliffe must get adventuresome. They must run the ball. They can't play it safe. They've got to do a few chancy things if they're going to penetrate this Wynnum Manly defence. We've seen that set move plenty of times. It's not working against Wynnum. They'd be doing better to go straight up the middle.
Part, Rolls, Benson, spins around, back to Rolls, but only just hangs onto it as Ferrugia makes the tackle. Last tackle on the quarter. Part puts it up. Coming down well and truly in the field of play. Didn't go deep at all with that one. And it's a Redcliffe ball. Knock on, says the referee. Fulton Smith came up with it.
Not a very good kick at all by Part. Come off the side of his boot. Having a talk to Wynnum, he's ignoring Redcliffe.
Dawes puts it in. Penalty to Redcliffe. Feed across against Farrugia. Calling him out.
Yep. Well, he's had plenty of problems with scrums in the first half, and I guess we've got to be a little bit careful here not to blame the referee for poor scrummaging. Lewis coming across here to hear what Irwin's got to say. Differential penalty to Redcliffe. And they're going to kick right over to the touchline. They're in a great position to attack here from centre field, and yet they still elect to put it into touch 10 metres out from the try line.
Scrum penalties 4-3 in favour of Wynnum Manly. Now it's Redcliffe working it forward with Thorne. Canescu. Not far out. Fullerton Smith comes around too. Part. Niebling. The attack coming to this side of the field. Part. Tew. Long pass out to Holder, but he had to stop and wait for it and then dropped it at his feet. Knock on.
Redcliffe being frustrated, they're finding they've got to force the long passes out because this Wynnum Manly defence has been so well covered. They've gone man for man on most occasions. Redcliffe found it very difficult to get the overlap.
If they're going to bring Holder in from fullback, the timing's got to be a lot better than that. More the style of Colin Scott, hitting the ball through the hole. Nichols. Dowling, met strongly, but gets the pass away quickly to Naylor. Dowling still on the ground after that tackle from Cowell. Miles out to Lindner, wide, pushing away from the tackle with the fend. Looks inside, but held on. Miles was covered. Nichols, Niebling, wraps him up. Help from Bleakley. Fifth tackle. Dawes to Lewis. Gets the kick away. Good kick too. Making Holder come across and back. Rolling down to the goal line. Oh, juggled by Thorne. And Lewis there. Can he get into the field of play? Touch and go. Hits the corner flag. Goal line dropout.
Good defence, Wynnum Manly. Good chase. But what a good kick from Lewis. He was really harassed there by about 4 or 5 Redcliffe players who tried to charge the kick down. He had no time at all and still managed to find open spaces and get the ball to roll on. There's the ironies of rugby league. It looks to me now that the wind now is favouring Wynnum Manly. They had the breeze in the first half and they've also got it in the second.
Benson drops out. Stands up for Scott Lewis, the man who put in the good chase to force the dropout after Thorne juggled it.
There's the Redcliffe coach, Darryl Vandervelde, with the red jumper over his shoulders. Mark Murray sitting next to him, and I think in the first half he would have looked back and said, well, look, we played some pretty good football early, couldn't get points on the board. He's come up against Lewis and Miles, who've been able to add points for Wynnum Manly. But really, he must have emphasised at half-time the importance of getting some early points in the second half. They must start attacking, they must start showing a little bit more flair and a little bit more adventuresome play.
Redcliffe in possession after Jenner tried to force a pass. It wasn't on. Bleakley has it. Webb back inside for Holder. On the burst that time. And the pass has gone back into Lewis laying on the ground. And that's the referee ruled.
He's ruled that Wynnum Manly can play the ball. Lewis still down injured.
Dowling thought he called time off. Well, you'd have to say Redcliffe were unlucky at the least there.
Oh, yeah. Lewis hasn't moved either. Bruce Corey attending to him there in the back play. And a penalty to Wynnum Manly. Canescu being called out. They're obviously upset by the incident in the play of the ball. There's Lewis. He's recovered pretty well. Since he heard the whistle, he realised he had to make a decision, so he thought he'd better get up and find out what's going on. Yeah, well, they're in possession and...
on the attack.
Yep, had a good opportunity to really carry it on.
Though, to be honest, at the moment, Redcliffe don't have a lot of momentum in their attack.
No, they haven't. They've really got to stand in tackles more. I think they've relied once again on too much muscle power in the forwards, and they've come up against a pretty strong pack in the Wynnum Manly pack anyway. You must stand in tackles, you must offload, you must continue to create.
Dawes puts his head down. Dowling quickly onto Jenner. Outside is Lindner. Lindner almost away from the tackle. Got it back inside to French. French trying to get back away from that touch line.
A couple of little half breaks coming here from Wynnum Manly now. They're looking dangerous.
Dawes to Lewis. Long pass to Miles. Pushes away from one. Now out to Naylor. Passes to Scott. Scott showing pace. Gets clear. Over in the corner is Nichols. Well, it's good work from the Wynnum backs.
What a try. That's where the advantage Wynnum Manly hold. They flicked it out straight along the back line. Orthodox back line move. The only part of it that wasn't orthodox was the pass from Lewis as he let one go and then found Gene Miles. We saw the strength of Gene Miles. Wynnum Manly quite elated now. They know they've got this one in the bag. They should be able to go straight into the grand final in 2 weeks' time. Have a look at this for a back line movement. Half back 5-8. Lewis lets one go, picks up Gene Miles. Gene Miles brushes away one. Then he did a little bit extra work too, drew another one in. Naylor then just timed his pass right. It looked like Colin Scott might have bombed it here, tried to score it himself. Last minute, popped it out the back door. Scott Nichols on the spot, goes across from a good wingers try. From behind it look good. We'll see how the Wynnum Manly backline machine works. Peter Dawes, courageous effort from Dawes. That arm is obviously not 100%. Look at Lewis. Lets one go. That took out Robbie Chew. And then the little fend there from Miles on Benson. Naylor, little dummy, then held out the winger one more time. Looked like Colin Scott thought he could score it himself. Then look at this. Little flick. Where are you? Somewhere there. Nichols, perfect position. Scores it. What a good backline try.
Colin Scott only a metre in from touch, so he has a wide angle. And with that breeze having switched around, the breeze from right to left across the kick. And has pushed it wide. He didn't hit it well. So the score remains Wynnum Manly 16, Redcliffe 0. Even though there's 28 minutes remaining in the match, 16-0 should see a win to Wynnum Manly.
Well, you think so, Warren. They're too good a side to let it slip from that sort of position. But what an important game this is now for Redcliffe. They cannot afford to surrender and lose any sort of psychological well, not so much an advantage, but any psychological effort at all, because they must keep concentrating on their play. The loser from this particular match has to go back and play Brothers next week. They can ill afford to have to go back and play Brothers from a big loss, and they can ill afford then to have to think about Wynnum Manly in 2 weeks' time in a grand final. So it's really very important that Redcliffe keep their minds on the job in this match. They've got to put points on the board, something that they have been unable to do so far in the match. They need to free up their play. They've been too tense and too safety first. They've got to start throwing the ball around, and it's only if they throw it around that they'll trouble this Wynnum Manly defence.
Now moving it wide, Chew sends the pass out past Rolls, gathered by Barwick and flung to ground by Miles. The replacement on the field for Redcliffe, Ray Ovens at fullback for Darryl Holder. Cowell running it up.
Ovens played in the reserve grade. A side that got beaten by Brothers in the reserve grade today. He was the top try scorer for Redcliffe last season. Looks like he is playing fullback.
Chew firing for the far touch line. Scott, well, knocked it on, I'd say. Well, no, the referee says it went backwards.
He knocked it on, all right.
Benefit of the decisions going to Wynnum Manly a couple of times in this half.
Even though he was facing his own try line, he did drag the ball back. Let's have a look at it. Facing his own try line, and the ball went forward. That's a knock on. Went toward his opponent's try line. However, he got away with it. Wynnum Manly still in possession.
Lewis plays the ball. Jenner on the blind with Lindner. Seen this combination work in the blind side a few times today, and also French out there on the wide blind. Perugia. Green at dummy half, coming around Lewis, switches it to the blind. Jenner again with French. Miles there too, but the burst comes from French. Push towards touch, the cover coming across, last tackle. Dawes, Lewis, back inside one, stabs for the line, rebounded off the Redcliffe player, and Canescu has it. Lewis calling to the referee about Canescu using the elbow. Cowell.
Redcliffe have got to get away from the forwards just ramming it upfield. Even on the early tackle counts, they've got to be prepared to swing it from one side of the field to the other.
Webb. Even though I said this game looks to be won and lost after the game we saw last weekend here at Lang Park and some of the matches in Sydney lately, you have to wait till the final siren to know who wins. Rolls. Tew, Part, over the top of Canescu. Cowell sends it on to Thorne.
Now they've got him stretched. Now they should move the ball back this way again.
Part, Rolls, Tew. Holds it up for Benson, could have gone forward and the referee has called it that way.
Redcliffe finding it very difficult to find gaps. The ball went forward undoubtedly and Benson ran into trouble.
Dawes has it, Scott. Away from two, quickly links up with Nichols. He's away from Ovens, still going Nichols. Few missed tackles there, danger signs. Lindner.
And a good comeback from Bob Lindner. He was greatly inconvenienced early in the match with a shoulder injury. He's come back to make a couple of little half breaks.
Dowling, Jenner, short passing to French. Lewis, long pass out to Naylor, Miles onto Scott.
They're practicing their training moves now, but Redcliffe read it well.
The pass was flat. Split second timing. French. Lindner. Back inside is Jenner. Holds up the pass for Lewis. Back it goes, but it's picked up by Ovens. How Barwick it was, he's lost it. And the referee calls a knock on. Wynnum with the loose head and feed. I think Canescu was trying to turn that around, claiming that the knock on had first come from Wynnum.
Lewis was calling there that Tew was offside.
Miles finds a gap with a little dummy, spreads it wide. He has unmarked outside him is Scott Lewis and he's dropped the ball.
Boy, who do you take when they start running like that? Gene Miles holding it up, showing it everywhere, and then accelerated once they held off him, and that's exactly what they did. Look at this. Crossfield run, dummies everywhere, then says, OK, if you're not going to take me, I'm going to keep going. Good effort here from Robbie Thorne to cut down Gene Miles. Scott Lewis couldn't take it. Saved the day.
Tew was coming across in cover. It would have been close. Tew has it now. Cowell. Strong defence there from Green. Good battle between the two second rowers. Robust defence from both. Fullerton Smith. There's Green again.
Jim Cowell and Wally Lewis had a little bit of a push and shove and a bit of a chat after that tackle.
Now it's Fullerton Smith and Miles having a disagreement.
We've only got to remember back to the last time these two teams met, and it was Cowell and Miles who had a running battle.
Tew. Right footer downfield, away from Scott. Scott Lewis coming back very slowly as well. Lewis to Naylor. Perugia.
Well, he's given a penalty to Redcliffe here for walking off the mark, but geez, I reckon Redcliffe were interfering in the play of the ball. Certainly took a long time for the play of the ball to eventuate. Let's have a look at it. Naylor tries to play it, or picks it up again. Well, you can't do that for starters. You can't put the ball on the ground and then pick it up again. And although he's still got him for walking off the mark, so the penalty has gone to Redcliffe. A chance for them to finally get points on the board. 20 minutes to go in the match. They're down 16 points to 0.
Benson only gains a metre with the kick. Now it's Thorne, he's lost the ball. French is onto it. Well, what a waste of an opportunity.
That's the Wynnum Manly bench. There's Wally Lewis's father, I should say, right in centre screen there, Jimmy Lewis, and he calls a lot of the shots when it comes to the decisions made on the bench.
Dowling, Jenner, quickly onto Miles. One arm pass out to Lindner, flying down the wing. Back inside is French, he's showing great pace too. Just couldn't get the pass away. The defence only just managing to hold onto his arm. There was support there. Perugia to Dowling. Now they spread it wide. Lewis over the top to Nichols. Coming around to Scott. Scott back over the top, basketball to Nichols. Nichols heading for the line. He's chased by Party, can't get him. Another try to Scott Nichols, and that's his second try of the match.
Wynnum Manly doing it well. A very professional outfit. Great work here from Scott Nichols. He deserves a lot of credit for this try because he let Colin Scott come around. And look at the jubilation on the faces there of the Wynnum Manly players. They know they're going to march straight into the grand final as the chant from the crowd goes up. Wynnum, Wynnum, Wynnum. What a football team it is. And let's have a look at it on replay. Good backline movement. This once again, that long pass from Lewis has cleared the ruck. That's Ferrugia, Dowling. Look at this from Wally Lewis. He's in everything, Lewis. The long one over the top to Scott Nichols. He says to Colin Scott, come around. That held the winger in. Scotty then took two, fired it back on the inside, and then accelerator. Hit the gas, away goes Scott Nichols, and the cover defence couldn't get him. Great work from the winger. Gee, that's good play. He knew he couldn't do anything from when he first got the ball, but certainly after then creating something for Colin Scott, he could. Look at the pass from Lewis. Plenty of Redcliffe defence around Lewis. The ball over the top. Scott Nichols can't go anywhere. Opposite number around him. Around comes Colin Scott. Read it well. Goes away, takes two defenders with him. The one-handed back in here. They're playing touch football. And then Scotty Nichols hits the accelerator. This is his second try in the second half. And the cover defence of Colin Part only just could get a hand on him.
Colin Scott with the attempt again wide out, almost identical position to the kick he missed when he tried to convert Scott Nichols' previous try. Better attempt this time, just fading to the left and also short. So Wynnum Manly 20, have the game pretty well wrapped up against Redcliffe, 20-0. Benson hits as much sand as ball with that one. It bounces down towards the goal line. Ferrugia has it. It's going to take some heart from Redcliffe to stay in this match.
Well, I think it's important here, Warren, that they really finish this last 15 minutes in style. They can't afford to allow Wynnum Manly to continue on the rampage. They've got to line up against Brothers next week. They'll need to be in the right frame of mind for that game. And then should they win that match, they then got to come back against this green and red machine.
And here's one of the green and red machine. It's Mal Green bursting forward. Out to French. Collared by Fullerton Smith. Scott. Knocked down by Canescu. He's after it too. Lewis has it. 6 more tackles to Wynnum. Out to Ferrugia. He's rounded up by Rolls.
And Ferrugia had realised there'd been enough chances taken. All he wanted to do was save the day.
Nichols.
Shot of the grandstand. I think most people have seen some pretty good rugby league here today. Redcliffe started well with great determination, but then the Wynnum Manly machine got into motion. They've attacked brilliantly. They've scored 4 tries in the match. They also defended very well.
Scrums collapsed, and the penalty to Wynnum. And not much doubt that Canescu's on the bottom of that one. The whole Redcliffe front row were down.
Redcliffe haven't had a lot of ball in the second half, or it wouldn't appear that they have, and they certainly haven't used it too well either. I think they've been rather negative in their approach. There's Greg Canescu jogging away. He's had plenty of problems in positioning himself in the scrums today.
Booming kick from Lewis. Takes play midway between the half and quarter. Quick tap from Scott Lewis. Lost the ball. Thorne has it. Mistake on the first tackle from Wynnum.
There's a difference though. Redcliffe had picked that ball up. Thorne had come to the edge of the first line of defenders, and none of the Redcliffe players were supporting him. You've got to go with whatever opportunity comes your way, and Redcliffe haven't done it. They're waiting for the next ruck all the time.
Fullerton Smith hustles his way to halfway. Tew, Benson, Rolls, tries to get away from Naylor. Rolls hasn't been able to get clear today. Niebling. Hart, a little kick through. Covering back there was Dowling.
Well, that's the frustration of Redcliffe. They've tried everything today, and then they try the little kick, and there's still players standing back, taking it on the full.
Lewis kicks for open spaces. Colin Scott chasing through. There's nobody at home. Scott coming through. He'll be first to the ball. Can he handle? He's got it and held on. Back to his feet. Held by Benson. Scott Lewis heading for the line. Cross comes Thorne. Holds him. Over the top. There's Lindner. What a piece of football from Wynnum Manly. Razzle dazzle.
What a football team. There's not many players in Brisbane that can throw that sort of pass over the head, behind his back, but we've seen Scott Lewis do it. Wally Lewis gets all the accolades from the Lewis family, but Scott Lewis is a very talented player. It took Wally Lewis kicking downfield first up. Have a look at this. Colin Scott knew it was on. He was on the block as soon as Lewis had the ball. Away they go. The ball was always going to bounce well for Colin Scott. The ball came to him. The Redcliffe cover defence got to him. Up comes Colin Scott. Looks out for Scott Lewis. He thought he could score it himself. If we see here that we've got Bob Lindner, he had his hands in his air and he was yelling his head off. Give me it. Over the head. And there it is. Bob Lindner on the spot. You beauty.
Colin Scott, a man involved in the work that led up to that try. And the flags are up. So a good kick from Scott. 26-0, Wynnum Manly rolling home. As that conversion sailed through, Lewis put his finger up and signalled to the crowd, that's one for us. And Lindner loses the ball. Shakes his head in frustration. Bleakley. Kinescu, Niebling. Question is, can Redcliffe get on the scoreboard? Fullerton Smith. Back to Thorne. The Dolphins haven't been inside the Wynnum quarter very often today. Chew, Bleakley.
Well, for Redcliffe to have a chance in this match today, it was that the Redcliffe forward pack had to get on top. They haven't been able to get on top of the Wynnum Manly six, and once again we've seen the Wynnum Manly backs take full advantage.
Kick fired back to the blind side. Offside. But Chew was always offside. They didn't learn the lesson 3 weeks ago.
Wynnum Manly just setting up a couple of things. Dowling has one last glance over at the clock and he sees 8 minutes 37 seconds to go. They've got it in the bag. They've done it in style. What a football team. There's a few Dolphin supporters disappointed, I would think, with their showing of their team, but I'd say they'll be back next week just to see if they can take on Brothers and improve it.
Perugia comes around Dawes. Dawes, little dummy.
You got to hand it to this little fellow, Peter Dawes. You can see the hand there, the arm very heavily strapped. He has favoured it for most of the day, but he certainly hasn't shirked it.
Dowling. Lewis calling the shots.
As he has done all day.
On out wide here. Miles is standing flat, comes inside him. French leaves it behind. Bleakley gathers. Bleakley heading for the line. There's no one in front of him. Has he the pace? Yes, a try to Bleakley. First points on the scoreboard for Redcliffe at long last.
Well, that's about the only way that Redcliffe are going to score a try too. Wynnum Manly putting on one of their training moves. They thought, well, let's give this one a go. We'll see if we can use it in 2 weeks' time. I think Wally Lewis would have said, OK, we'll give it a miss. They have put it on before, though. That pass there from Miles couldn't be handled there by French. Bleakley picks it up and he looked to pass and then realised, well, I better have a run. I think that's what Redcliffe have done today. They've looked to pass too often instead of putting their ears back, and we see what happens if you do.
Rolls right in front. Redcliffe have finally posted their first try of the game. And the flags are up. So 26-6 the score, Wynnum Manly's favour. Lewis gets the kick away. It's no surprise that Bleakley was the try scorer. Number of tries he scored this season. Cowell. Kinescu tackled. Niebling. Chew. Replacement on the field for Wynnum there. Brad Samuelson, I think it is. Samuelson replacing Scott Lewis on the wing. Scott Nichols there. Before the game, you could get 6 points start on Redcliffe. I hear there was 9 points around. I wonder what it'll be after today.
Yeah, well, I think everyone realised that this team clicks. It's very, very hard to hold. We see them striding up the middle again. Linda's really come to the fore in the match after he caught that very heavy knock early.
Miles leaves it behind. Rolls has it. Hugh.
Be a disappointed Darryl van der Velde. He was confident prior to this match, but really it's back to the drawing board. They really have lacked zip, Redcliffe. They're going to have to do a lot more next week, even to beat Brothers, and then the following week, should they beat Brothers, to come up against this side. Looks at the moment, Wynnum Manly first, Daylight second.
Fullerton Smith on to Barwick. Bleakley on the blind. Away from Nichols, back inside. Fullerton Smith can't handle, dived on by Dowling. Lewis. Penalty to Wynnum. Not facing square on in the play the ball. Lewis on with the job quickly. Like to put another try on if he can. There's something about that 30 mark.
There's Lewis. He hasn't stopped talking today, but he also hasn't stopped working. He's been involved in everything. He's had a part in just about every try that's been scored. He's directed play extremely well. He can sit back now with his hands on his hips. You know his side's won it, and he's been the general really right from the start and right to the finish. Scored a brilliant try to set Wynnum on the path in the early minutes.
And through Jenner. Lewis, little chip through, had his arm dragged back, Part gathers, and there were plenty of Wynnum players coming through. Lewis and Scott there, ready to carry it on.
I think that's one of the features of Wynnum Manly play. They all know what each other are doing. There's nothing one out here about Wynnum Manly, and they've shown that they're so aware of what's happening. And Lewis, with him calling the shots and doing the talking, he makes sure that everyone around him knows what's on. When we saw that kick downfield from Lewis earlier in the match to set up the try for Lindner, certainly Colin Scott knew it was on.
Crunching tackle from Green on Niebling. He's lost the ball. Nichols gathers.
And Mal Green hasn't taken a backward step against this Redcliffe forward pack today. He's been one of the reasons that Wynnum Manly have been able to really show their strength.
A lot of disagreement between Kinescu. He's got 6 enemies in that Wynnum pack. This time it's Lindner. There's been some scraps going on out there all day long.
Yeah, Irwin's calling him out too. A little bit of a short right arm in that last play the ball. Frustration, they G'd themselves right up to this match, and they've come out with a shellacking. Let's have a look at it. There's Lindner getting up. He's got his hand on Kinescu, and he just gives him a little bit of a cuff around the head. But that's frustration more than anything.
Lewis quickly out to Miles, long pass out to Naylor. Naylor stretches out, has support on the wing, and his pass goes over the touchline. Samuelson was there. The pass was a bad one.
Wynnum Manly showing that they can really fire the ball around, even right to the last couple of minutes of the game. Have a look at this. One of the few times they've really stretched the ball straight from the tap, and that's what happens. They put Naylor on the outside. Benson was caught unawares. The pass, not a good one. Samuelson really didn't have much of a chance to pick it up.
Jude tries the long pass to Benson, fires it onto Rolls. Nichols by the jersey, holds onto him. Jude from dummy half.
Should be some good football also at Newman Oval on Saturday at 11 o'clock when we've got the Sir James Foot Cup final, the state championship at the secondary schools. So if you're not doing anything on Saturday morning, get out and have a look at it.
10 seconds left on the clock. Last throw for Redcliffe. Chew held. Full time. Wynnum Manly straight through into the grand final, and Redcliffe with a lot of work to do against Brothers next week. 26 points to 6. It was 5 tries to 1 for Wynnum Manly, 2 tries to Scott Nichols and a try each to Wally Lewis, Miles and Lindner, while Scott kicked 3 from 6. For Redcliffe, the only try scorer, Bleakley, and Rolls kicked 1 from 3. Statistics, well, the scrums went to Wynnum Manly 6-5. The tight heads 1 apiece after the battle of the hookers, and the penalties 11-7 to the Seagulls. Well, Dave, Redcliffe, can they bounce back from what was a confidence-destroying loss?
I think it's going to be pretty hard, Warren. I think they were very disappointing, especially in attack. I thought they'd show a lot more. And if they're going to beat Wynnum Manly, if they're going to beat Brothers for that matter next week, got to show a lot more daring. They've got to show a lot more enterprise in attack. Wynnum, on the other hand, they have set a standard, really. They've said, OK, you've got to catch us. We're the top side. And they've really flexed their muscles.
Well, the man of the match has got to be a Wynnum Manly player, but there were plenty of good players.
It certainly was. I thought Colin Scott had an extremely good game. Gene Miles, explosive when he got involved in the game. And also Scott Nichols, who scored 2 tries. A very good effort from him on the wing. Wally Lewis, once again, as expected, as we come to expect the Lewis, involved in everything, went very close to winning the man of the match. And the Wynnum Manly forward pack, when we thought that Redcliffe might have the upper hand there, it wasn't the case. It was the Wynnum Manly forwards, I thought, that really held their own and actually got on top of the Redcliffe 6. And a player that really had to go out there and out-hit the Redcliffe forward pack was Wynnum Manly's second rower, Mal Green, and he is the Winfield Cup man of the match. Pretty hot there in the first half. Redcliffe really took it to you in the forwards?
Yeah, as expected, yeah, but we weathered the storm and come out on top, so a good result.
Second half, the boys really seemed to spread the ball around a little bit more and paid results, didn't it, with some good tries?
Yeah, I think just confidence come back to us. Now we picked up a lot of confidence we lost earlier in the year, and we got it back, and we're just waiting for the big one now, the grand final.
2-week break. Who do you think's going to win the next week, Redcliffe and Brothers?
I'm not going to lose any sleep over who gets there.
Well, you've certainly got the strength to carry on with it. Congratulations, Mel, on a great effort.
Thanks, David. Thank you.
Well, Mel Green have a few sore spots after that top defensive effort, but of course now they've got the luxury of that 2-week layoff.
I think Redcliffe forwards will have a few bruises too.
I'm sure they have.
Well, in the junior grades next week, it's grand final time in the under-19s. Souths versus Norths, under-21s, Brothers versus Wynnum Manly, and in third grade, Brothers versus Redcliffe. The preliminary finals, and Brothers are trying to get all 3